everybody, thanks for joining me once again. I have a really quick video for you which is all about styling and finding ways to make styling your own. And I'm just going to give you some key points in the body on how you can, and that you can then use to do what feels right for you and what feels right for the song. So firstly, I need you to go back and check out my arm styling technique video, which runs through how the body is the driver of arms, to make sure that we don't have inauthentic arms just doing their own thing disconnected from the body, making sure that the sexy spider web is running through every joint, or the inflation happens from the core out to the fingertips. Okay, so go back and check out that video first, but here's really quick little tips for you, parts of the body that you can use. So we have the pelvic bones, each side, have the shoulders, tips of the ears, and the hairline. These are the points of my body that I use, and also a little bit with the ribs on the side, not so much the ribs in the front. So of course we don't use this zone. We don't use this zone, generally don't use this zone, but we use pelvic bones, ribs on the side. If we use at the front, we look like we're nursing a sore belly. Not so good. Shoulders, tips of ears, hairline. Cool. So let's start from the hairline. So something, when you have a free arm, so for example, we might be in lateral and the leader opens us out, whichever arm styling you do here. I'm still connected to the leader here, and maybe we're here for a while and you don't know what to do with this hand. It's just you've finished that styling, there's no more motion to kind of keep it moving. Your upper body is not doing a huge amount here. What do you do with this hand? So this is where I often use the hairline. And I look at the leader and I have like a, we share a little moment while we're just grooving it out, and I have soft fingers and I use this part of my hand, so it's not really my wrist, it's not my knuckles, it's just near the wrist, and I just leave it up here. And it looks cute. I think it looks cute. And then it's ready to then come back out when you do your turn, or you can scoop it up to do something else, okay? So that's how I use my hairline, either side, here. And it can, it's okay for it to stay there for a little while, and then you can bring it down around behind the back of the hair to come down, or back out. Cool. Notice what I did then, the back of my wrist came first to take it back out. And my wrist is the part that's trying to make the contact. So wrists are really important in your arm styling. When you're doing a switch of the wrist, these ones, you have to try and find that mobility and the speed of change in the wrists. And the wrists are what are really trying to find your body. And for me as well, I use my middle finger. So from here, I use the wrist round behind, and I use my middle finger to find my ear, and then keep it coming down the body. So you need to try and maintain contact with yourself for maybe longer than you think you need to, because that is going to stop a move looking like here, take it around like through the force field, like you got a helmet on, and then trying to get the arm back down here. Like there's a long way to go where you're just out in space. So instead, drag it down your body using middle finger and this part of the thumb. So if I was to go this side here, take it around the back, out. Cool. So wrists here. Don't do two at a time because then you look like you got bunny ears. It might be something cute for a song. I don't know, maybe in the moment it might work. Next, tips of the ear. So we already use this when we come around the back to have the middle finger on the tip of the ear. So you can as well, when you've got a spare arm, you can use your forearm over the top of your head and make sure that you make some kind of contact because for me this doesn't look as good. It looks really lazy, but as soon as I just make a little bit of contact here, I can then use that to help me finish off the movement from wherever my arm needs to go next. Tips of the ears. Shoulders, shoulder to shoulder, shoulder to shoulder, shoulder to hip, maybe. So the shoulders, I use just that, the front of the round part of your, what's that one called? You know, that part. And again, using the middle finger, and I can trace from one shoulder to the other. Here, very light, so that it could actually be, no, I like to touch, just a very light touch. Cool. So from here to get down to the hips, we come down the side of the body or crossways. Now I would probably be more likely to go up than it would be to go down, unless I was, yeah, that's kind of cool too. But I would shape the body here, something like that. But this is the idea, is that you can do things that work for you or whatever. It's got to work for you, and you've got to feel comfortable with it. So the more you experiment to see what you like, the more options you're going to find. So something that I just did then actually was when I went from hip to shoulder. Notice I come through the center here, try and make sure that I don't come across like this. Not so good. I bring it up through the center and here, and then I might flick that wrist. Relaxed fingers, and then that might be something that I would do before I then go into another move. Similarly, that same move we talked about before, I might be here, 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 here. Flip it out before I go. That was that way. So that's still using your shoulders and your wrists. And then the hips. I don't know how much I would do from one hip to another, but maybe you would just do, yeah, I would just use cross to shoulder, cross to shoulder, whatever. I always tend to like to move my hips and have a bit of weight transfer at the same time, or hips to shoulder. So coming up, so when I do that, I'm here, I switch, again, switch the wrists to go from palms in to palms out, and then I trace up the sides to the shoulders. I do that one quite often actually. So this is, they're the key points for me that I use. If I've got a spare hand, I can think about putting it to the shoulder, to the hairline, to the ear, to the hip, to the hip. And even these ones here, Eglancini taught me these ones a few years ago. She tends to rest her wrist or this part of the thumb on her pelvic bones. She does that when she's in a boneka. And then as the arms move, then she flows the energy a little bit through the hands as well. So watch her video if you want to see how to do that really nice resting of the hands. If you want to have them on your hips but not like this, yeah, she's a good one to watch. Yeah, so that's it. The key is for me is to put on your favorite songs. Try and make sure they're all in different styles though, so that you can find some styling, like you can adjust the tempo, adjust the dynamics, adjust the cheekiness, adjust the grittiness of the moves, so that that will come out of your body when you're dancing. Cross fingers. As I said, go back and check out my other video. I have a couple more tips there for you. But the last thing I would say is make sure you do this in front of a mirror. Make sure you admire yourself, right? You might not be happy with the way your hair looks, or the way your face looks, or the way your body looks. You might put on a few kgs like I have in isolation, in lockdown. But you have to find something about your body that you can admire and really just enjoy that. If you see something you admire, keep doing it, because if you admire it, it's going to look, you're going to feel good on the dance floor, you're going to feel beautiful, and if you care about what other people think when they look at you, then I'm sure if you admire yourself, they will as well. So love your body and love yourself and enjoy coming up with your own styling. I love you. Bye.